Alright, so I know you guys all miss whiteboard practice, and I wish that I could just send a whiteboard and a marker and an eraser to all of your houses so you could use them for this practice that I'm going to give you. But alas, I don't have enough whiteboards or the time or the money. So you'll just have to use your tablet. Okay, so what's going to happen is I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to give you problems, but like verbally. Okay, so I'm going to do one example for you of what I would want to see. And then I'm going to read off 6 problems. Okay, so if you want to use your tablet or notebook or whatever and just draw your 6 right triangles right off the bat, you can do that. You're going to have to submit those 6 problems to me. My thought is you will just take a picture of them and upload that for me to see. So if you want to fit it on 1 page or 2 pages, it's fine, but it should be neat, so I can read your handwriting and understand your work. So this is what we'll do. I'll say, draw a right triangle, done. One of your angles is 38 degrees. Now, when I give you the angle measure, it really doesn't matter if you would put that angle here or up there, okay? Your final answer will end up being the same. In this case, the hypotenuse is 15, and I want you to solve for the opposite side. So that's the information I'll give you. So once I say that, you can just pause the video, draw your diagram, and then do the work to solve for your side or angle before moving on to the next problem. Okay? So in this case, right, this is my hypotenuse. This is the opposite side. I'm going to be using sine. Okay? It could be helpful also to write SOHCAHTOA at the top of your page or tablet or whatever. So the sine of 38 degrees is the opposite over the hypotenuse. So remember, setting up your proportion, you get x equals the sine of 38 times 15. Let me make sure that you can see this. Okay, so sine of 38 degrees equals the opposite of hypotenuse, x over 15. When I put this over 1 to solve it, like I make it like a proportion and solve, I get x times 1, or x, equals sine of 38 times, times 15. When I plug that in my calculator, and when you're plugging this in, of course, make sure you close these parentheses around the 38. You should get x equals 9.2. So when you're solving for a side, you can round to the nearest tenth, and when you're solving for an angle, you can just round it up to the nearest degree, okay? So that was your first example. I'm going to give you 6 more. I'm just going to read them off, okay? I'll just put the little SOHCAHTOA so you can see it. All right, so here's your first problem. Draw a right triangle. Your your reference angle is 49 degrees. Your hypotenuse is 23, and I want you to solve for the adjacent side. Okay, so your reference angle is 49 degrees. The hypotenuse is 23. I want you to solve for the adjacent. Pause the video and figure that out before moving on to the next problem. All right, number 2. You have a right triangle. This time you're solving for a reference angle, so you can still mark it with the swoosh, put an X there. The hypotenuse is 24, and the opposite side is 12. Okay, so in your triangle, you're solving for the reference angle. The hypotenuse is 24. The opposite side is 12. Solve for the angle measure. Okay, number 3. You have your right triangle. The reference angle is 38 degrees. The opposite side is 15. I want you to solve for the hypotenuse. Okay, reference angle is 38 degrees. The opposite side is 15. Solve for the hypotenuse. All right, number 4. You have a right triangle. Shocker. Your reference angle is 55 degrees. The adjacent side is 43, and I want you to solve for the opposite side. Okay, your reference angle is 55 degrees. The adjacent side is 43. Opposite side is what you're solving for. Go. Okay, number 5. Your reference angle is 38 degrees. The adjacent side is 15. And I want you to solve for the hypotenuse. Okay, your reference angle is 38 degrees. The adjacent side is 15. Solve for the hypotenuse. Okay, your last problem. You're solving for the reference angle. Mark it with a swoosh or an X. Your opposite side is 9. The adjacent side is 21. Solve for the reference angle. Okay, there's your 6 problems. So make sure they're neat. Make sure I can read them. Make sure they are numbered 1 through 6. Upload your picture. Thanks for playing along.